Hello, 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 and welcome to each and every single one of you. I'm so glad to see you. I am Joseph Harris, and I'm from Grand Canyon University. And we're entitled in our course, Biology 525, The Concepts of Medical Microbiology. And today, our discussion will be about the sexually transmitted infection known as gonorrhea. And we're under the superb direction of Dr. Barrera, and I'm so excited to be among you all today. And already to my ladies and gentlemen, all right, so before we start with the actual content, we're going to discuss some objectives for today. So we're going to figure out exactly what do we need to know, what is our goal for the end of this specific lesson. Well, for today, our job is what says learners will be able to is to describe the foundational knowledge of gonorrhea. So exactly what is gonorrhea? How is it transmitted? What was the scientific name with the taxonomy and other specific things? And we're also going to describe ways to prevent gonorrhea. And we're also going to discuss treatment options, again, that are available for patients just in case they're infected with gonorrhea. And all right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get started at this current time. All right, so our topic once again is gonorrhea. All right, so gonorrhea simply is classified as a bacterium, and more specifically, is referred to as a gonosis bacterium in that way. Gonorrhea is known as a sexually transmitted disease, or in other words, a sexually transmitted infection. And also is also referred to as an obligate human pathogen. Furthermore, the diagnosis and the treatment of gonorrhea, it impacts young adults, and it impacts young adults in a disproportionate manner. Furthermore, gonorrhea only infects humans. And also, specifically, it's going to manifest, once again, this bacterium is going to manifest as cervicitis in women and also urethritis in men. Furthermore, once again, this bacterium is an obligate human pathogen. And an obligate pathogen, and those are types simply of bacteria, and they're required to manifest specific diseases in order to facilitate transmission simply from host to host. Specifically, in order to survive, again, the obligate pathogens, again, they are required to infect a host. So therefore, obligate pathogens, they're not able to survive outside of a host, in that specific manner. We're also going to note that gonorrhea, again, has the capability to cause widespread infection and can lead to damage of heart valves, joints, and other specific organs simply of the body. And furthermore, the bacterial toxin of gonorrhea, it has the ability to show swelling or even redness simply at the site of infection. And furthermore, the symptoms in males and females for gonorrhea, they also differ as well. Well, the male symptoms of gonorrhea, they include painful urination and or the painful or one of those a release simply of pus, again, from the male sexual organ. And furthermore, approximately 60% of females are asymptomatic. And furthermore, gonorrhea, it may spread to the ovaries or oviducts in females and also to the epididymis in males. And already, some additional facts were regarding the sexually transmitted infection of gonorrhea. All right, the scientific name, as we see on the screen, simply is referred to, and I'm going to point to it. All right, so we have the scientific name right here. And the scientific name for gonorrhea is referred to as Neisseria gonorrhea. We're going to note at this current time, again, that Gnosis, which is the bacterium, it was described, in other words, discovered in the year of 1879. And it was discovered by a scientist known as Albert Neisser. And once again, that's how gonorrhea was indeed established. And also, the Roman physician known as Galen, he described gonorrhea as an escape of semen in an involuntary way, in an involuntary fashion. And furthermore, gonorrhea is a second most common STI or sexually transmitted infection, and has been on the rise in many, many European countries. And just a tidbit, the first most common sexually transmitted infection is chlamydia. Well, gonorrhea, it is diplocosis, and also it's a gram-negative bacterium. And also, and we see right here towards the bottom, we see the breakdown simply of the term gonorrhea as we ensue. All right, so we see right here that gonorrhea, or the GON in gonorrhea, it stands for semen. And also, we're going to note, of course, that rhea, RHEA, that means flow. So think about putting that together. And furthermore, approximately 60 patients again that have been diagnosed with gonorrhea, again, of their ages range from as young as 15 all the way until age 24. And furthermore, gonorrhea, it infects exposed sites of the mucosa within the rectum, the pharynx, and even more. And all right, to everyone. All right, so on this slide, we're going to discuss the taxonomy that correlates or that consists of, in other words, comprises of gonorrhea. Well, first and foremost, the kingdom of gonorrhea is a bacteria. And just to reiterate, the bacteria is going to be gram-negative for gonorrhea. Furthermore, the phylum, as we see right here, is referred to as Pseudomonodonta. The class of gonorrhea is referred to as beta proteobacteria. The order is Nesteriales. The family for gonorrhea is Nesteriaceae. And also the genus simply of gonorrhea is referred to as Neisseria respectively. In this slide, we'll be discussing the structure simply of gonorrhea respectively. And we'll see an image again right here on this side of our PowerPoint for today. Alrighty, so again, with this gram-negative bacterium, we're going to note also that we're going to note rather again that the cell wall simply consists of a very thin layer and is composed simply of peptidoglycan. And furthermore, once again, this is a gram-negative bacterium, so therefore, again, it does not retain again the dye that is of the purple tone color, again, in that way, and also is stained with a pinkish color, respectively. Furthermore, and we kind of see right here that gonorrhea is often seen in pairs. So I see right here, so we got a pairs. We got 1, 2, well, right there. We got 1, 2 right there. Of course, the pair right here. We have a pair as well. I'm gonna go towards this side right here. We have a couple of pairs right there. So oftentimes, gonorrhea is going to be seen often in pairs, and the pairs are called diplococci, and they're often stacked from side to side. And we see that also right here. So we see side to side, they're stacked, not on top of each other, but they're stacked from side to side, respectively, simply in this manner. And therefore, the pair often resembles a coffee bean shape, again, as researchers and scientists often state. And furthermore, the bacteria of gonorrhea, they are non-motile, and therefore they do not form spores. And also, bacteria, again, they need oxygen in order to grow, to grow and thrive, and also to survive. And to everyone, this slide is going to cover the pathogenesis simply of gonorrhea. All right, so gonorrhea is going to mainly colonize. It's going to colonize the urogenital tract simply at the conclusion of sexual intercourse, and the intercourse must occur with an individual that has already been infected with the bacterium, gonorrhea. And this bacterium, it may exist extracellular or intracellular simply as an organism specifically. And the majority of genes that are associated with gonorrhea, they're dedicated to colonization, and they're also dedicated to survival because this bacterium, of course, it may not survive outside simply of a host from a human. And also, transmission of gonorrhea is often a consequence simply of sexual intercourse. And furthermore, when gonorrhea enters a brand new host, the formation of microcolonies, again, they're going to begin to form, and they're going to form on non-ciliated columnar epithelial cells. And furthermore, and they're going to happen post-infection. And with the microcolonies, when they reach a certain cell density, the cytoskeleton is going to rearrange, and the rearrangement is going to occur simply at that current time. And the host protein aggregation is going to occur, is going to take place. And we see right here, we have steps as to how the pathogenesis of gonorrhea does occur. And we're going to break those down step by step and one by one. All right, so we see right here at the very top, we have number 1 specifically in this way. And we'll see in the form of pileated, and the open expressing gonosi is going to mingle. It's going to mingle with the epithelium that's going to consist of the mucosal. And furthermore, the hair-like, if we see the hair-like specific structures, particles, we can say, or appendages. If we see that they're thin, and they're going to stimulate or trigger the initial contact with specific receptors simply of the mucosal cells. And of course, we're going to assemble on to step number 2 right here. And step number 2, the pili is going to become retracted. And the OP mediated attachment of gonorrhea with CD66 antigen is going to occur simply right here in the second specific stage or phase, as you may describe. Furthermore, in step 3, after the OPA mediated attachment, the specific bacterium is going to become engulfed. It's going to be internalized within the mucosal cells, respectively, in that way. And I think I'm covering step number 4, so definitely excuse me. But in step number 4, again, is right here, but I don't believe that you're able to see it due to my blocking, and I definitely apologize for that. But after internalization of some bacteria, they may transit to the mucosal epithelium, specifically on the basolateral side. And furthermore, depending on, and of course, we'll go up here, right here to step 5. And once again, depending on the OPA protein, the Gonorrhea may survive in neutrophils. And also right here in 6, again, I think once again I'm covering it, but 6, after the transcytosis, Gonorrhea it may enter the bloodstream and render the resistant simply of the bacteria serum. And to everyone, this slide is going to discuss the epidemiology regarding gonorrhea. All right, well, the prevalence of gonorrhea is varied, and it's varied by demographic and geography in the United States of America. Adolescent African American women in southern states are most at risk of obtaining gonorrhea, followed by women in the Midwestern region. Furthermore, the majority of individuals who are infected with gonorrhea, again, they live in urban areas. And furthermore, the rates of gonorrhea, they consistently rise in many countries. And groups such as homosexuals, individuals that are bisexual, indigenous populations, and more, they bear disproportionate burdens related to gonorrhea. And furthermore, international travel, again, it may cause the spread of gonorrhea, which may consist simply of resistant strains. And furthermore, gonorrhea, it can be easily transmitted, of course, through sexual intercourse without the use of contraceptives. Internationally, the African region has the highest relevance of men and women with gonorrhea. Again, followed by Americans, then of course followed by the Western Pacific region individuals, and also the infection rates are lowest among the European region. And to everyone, this slide is going to discuss a study that was conducted in order to control gonorrhea. Well, back in the year until 1964, diagnosing gonorrhea was a difficult task. And gonorrhea was heavily thought to be asymptomatic in females and to be painful and noticeable in males. And this study, it focused on locating and treating women that were asymptomatic for gonorrhea. And furthermore, as the study was conducted, as it was amid 9.3 million women were tested, and out of those women that were tested, 4.3 tested positive for gonorrhea. And furthermore, a part of the study simply was a partner notification, which aimed to find individuals that were asymptomatic with gonorrhea. And results they were biased due to the fact that symptomatic men, they're part of the study, whereas women, they were found because of their partners. And furthermore, infections among women are often once again asymptomatic, and they're often simply detected, and they've been heavily simply through screening. And according to our figure that we see right here, we're going to note at this time that gonorrhea cases, they increased in the year of 1963. It would say they gradually increased. In the majority, we see, were men in that way. And we're also going to note the male to female ratio is disproportionate, as we see the ratio came to be about 3 to 1. However, it decreased as a result of the screening program, from the study. It was in the results of simply of this population. Again, the population, again, they were different, and the amount of specific decrease is not fully certain at this current time. And in this study, it used a federal funding and covered screening for women during this specific time. And furthermore, the screening rates, again, they remain high. And women who test for gonorrhea, they're also tested for chlamydia as well. And as the study was amid the funding to control gonorrhea, again, exceeded funds again that were allocated or used even for syphilis back in the day. And furthermore, antimicrobial resistant strains simply of gonorrhea, they threaten the control of gonorrhea. And lots of developments, brand new developments such as urine-based technology, uh, electronic case reporting, and more, they make controlling gonorrhea a simple process. All right, patients that have been diagnosed with gonorrhea, they do have the opportunity to get treatment. And the treatment is often through antibiotics. And a specific antibiotic is referred to as ceftriaxone, and which is recommended by the CDC. And people can be allergic to this antibiotic, in which they would be prescribed simply to gentamicin, and also they'll also be given azith- azithromycin uh, uh, to be given in order to treat this bacterium. And the treatment of this bacterium, again, it does not prevent, it does not protect from reinfection of gonorrhea, and it also does not undo any damage that may have been caused prior to the infection of gonorrhea. And furthermore, the prevention of gonorrhea, again, it may be ensued simply by abstinence, limiting sexual partners, um, choosing protection, and other things. And those are mainly ways to prevent gonorrhea. In order to my ladies and gentlemen, are there any questions? All right, well, thank you so much for your time. I definitely appreciate it being with you, and I look forward to next time. Here's one page for references, and here is another page for references as well. Thank you.